Happy Thursday, everybody. Today is Confession Day / Tell the Truth Day. I am your host, Pastor KZ. Hit the like button at the end of the video, the thumbs up, share the video, comment down below. Please give me a comment on a scale of 1 to 5 how you like this particular eyewear frame. This is an all plastic frame and I got some good reviews about it. So please tell me what you think. And also, I'm wearing shades of blue all this week. So let's get started. Were you able to do your homework on last night? Remember I told you to pick out 3 particular things that you know with the choice of the person that you are involved with, in a long-term relationship with, in a marital partnership with, that you have buyer's remorse. Now, I want you to think about this. Can you possibly write down 5 things about yourself? 5 things about yourself that you wish you can change. 5 things about you. And today on Tell the Truth Thursday, I'm not going to allow you to blame everything on your partner. I'm not going to allow you to blame everything on your circumstance or blame everything on other people. Today is all about you taking accountability and responsibility for the decisions you have made, some of which you have regrets. Now, so I want you today to start by taking ownership of how you got to this place, how you got into this mess, regretting your choice or your choices, and remember it was your choice. Now, I want to reassure you that in all of our lifetimes, this is not just your issue. You're not the only one. In all of our lifetimes, we have had some choices we made. We wish we could change. We have made some mistakes, some not so good choices, but it does not mean we're a loser, we are stuck, and things won't get any better. Doesn't mean that. And also, it doesn't mean you got to walk in anger. You've got to walk in feeling sorry for yourself. Poor me, poor me. Honey, this ain't just you. You know how many people have made mistakes? You know how many people have made choices that they regret? You know how many people been in marriages? Why do you think the divorce rate is so high? People got buyer's remorse in marriages. Why do you think so many relationships end on a sour note? You know why? It's one word. I was thinking about this last night, reading some of the emails. The one word that keeps coming up in these emails is expectations. Your expectations were not the same as that other person. You walked in expecting things to be a certain way that you never had a conversation about. So I'm not going to let you just blame everything on them. Now, but I'm also not going to let you beat up on yourself over and over again and feeling sorry for yourself. I'm not going to let you walk in bitterness. This is just my opinion, but the tools that we're going to use is we're trying to get to a positive space. We're trying to get to a better place. We're trying to get to a place where you can say, you know what? I didn't make the right choice here. I still got nothing but love and respect for them, but they're just not the person for me. Or this is just not the job for me. Or I made a purchase. I got some buyer's remorse about it. Thank God I still got the receipt. I'm going to go make an exchange, or I'm going to go get credit, store credit for it, or I'm just going to get a refund. Unfortunately, in relationships, you can't do that. So it just means sometimes, y'all, we just have to sit down and sit in our own stuff. But after sitting a while, you got to decide to get yourself up and do something. You can't just stay there and whine about it. Have your moment, have your cry, have your day of depression where you just going to sit up and eat junk food and lay up in your pajamas and watch TV all day. But after that, get up. Get up. Sometimes the decision really boils down to you. Are you willing to stay and sacrifice your health or sacrifice for your children's sake? Or is it just too much on you emotionally and you know that this person is not going to change? The expectations you had is not going to work out here. And this not only applies to relationships, but that is what we're focusing on this week, because that is what you, the viewers, have asked me. It also applies on your job, your place of employment, your career choice, a business venture. You may start out in a business venture and may decide, you know what, I don't think this is working out. It's not too late to change your mind. I did a video a couple of months ago. It's very much acceptable to say, you know what, I can change my mind here. I'm going to do something else. It's okay to let go of something. It's okay to say, you know what? I'm going to have to rebrand my business. I'm going to go a different route in this business venture. You know what? I think I've been on this job long enough that I'm going to get training in something else. This is just a job. I'm not following my passion. It's okay to do those things without regret. Now, also, I've heard a lot of women in particular. I got emails from women that said, Pastor KZ, I do have buyer's remorse and regrets with the person I chose, but I have children and I don't want to break up my home. There's stability here. That's a whole different series of shows, okay? Which we'll address at a later date. So you got to ask yourself, what is it that you're willing to do for you to help yourself? Because remember, I told you last week, self-care is the best care. You're so busy focusing on what other people's needs are and how to please other people and what's best for them that you done lost who you are, and now you don't know what's best for you. And you just living a miserable day-to-day repetitive life, simply feeling like you stuck here. I can't move right now. But there's going to come a time when the children grown and out the house. Now what you going to do? All right, you've got to think about some things. I'm going to give you step one, just my opinion. You must first identify what you are feeling. See, some people are not being honest with their feelings. You sitting here still not calling a thing a thing. Because you know what, you've been kind of brainwashed to think that I gotta be selfless. I gotta always think of the other person. Sometimes your religious walk leads you to stay somewhere and to stay involved with things that deep in your heart, you know it doesn't serve you well. And let me just say this to the ones in the Christian faith. You all got to stop being bound by antiquated doctrine. The word is the word, and the word is not going to change. But some of you are misinterpreting the word. You know, when Jesus or Yeshua talks about turning the other cheek, but he also goes on in another parable and talks about you got to know when to walk away, leave something behind, shake the dust off of your feet and move on. So y'all get in these dogmatic thoughts patterns, and some pastors do a very good job of keeping you mentally in bondage. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I'm a pastor, and I believe wholeheartedly in the power of prayer. I believe wholeheartedly in walking by faith, not by sight. But I also believe in teaching people what the word says without trying to indoctrinate them and keep them in bondage emotionally. Because I want you to live your best life. You're not living your best life in bondage or in a situation where you hate going home at the end of the day when you get off work. Bad enough you done caught it on your job all day. You know, you're sick and tired and fed up with that because you got all of these other little schemes, and plus you're dealing with all of these different personalities and ethnicities on your job where you feeling like they belittling you and demeaning you, and then you go home at the end of the day to a home where your home is not peaceful, where you hate being there, you don't like your partner, and you feel like everything is on you. So you still don't have a chance to wind down and relax, because From the minute you get up in the morning, it's all systems go. You've spent 8, 9, 10, 12 hours, depending on what your shift is, on a job. Then you got to come home and still feel like you own a job. You're the one responsible for making sure the bills are paid. You got to go online and do these different things to make sure the mortgage is paid. Make sure the utilities are kept on. And this partner that you're with does very little. They feel like, oh, I put the money in the bank. And what are you going to do? So, number one, you got to really identify what you are feeling. Are you feeling depressed? Are you frustrated? Are you discouraged? Are you angry? Are you beginning to walk in bitterness? You got to first identify and call out what you're feeling. Instead of, oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. Oh, everything is good, and you miserable. You putting on this brave face, looking good on the outside. Makeup is well together. Your haircut is lined up, brothers. You all crisp and pressed, but inside you miserable. You just putting on this big show for the world, for the people. Number two, you have to process your emotions. You've got to process these emotions that you just admitted to in step one. Number three, you've got to distract yourself with positive outlets. Sometimes walking back into this depression, this negative environment, this energy drainer, you've got to find a distraction. You need an outlet. That goes back to after every show, I try to tell you to get focused and get balanced. That's what this is about. You've got to have another outlet. You can't just have a outlet where your whole life is centered on your job and taking care of the home. There's no time for you. You've gotten lost in that. So you got to have something to distract you. Number three. All of these three things I just gave you, it's going to help you redirect your thought pattern. And understand this, it is perfectly all right to own your feelings. Just don't get lost or overwhelmed. Please don't beat yourself up, and don't let other people give you bad advice. Your assignment for tonight, I want you to brainstorm ways you can have a sit down with your partner. Be honest about what you're feeling. Let them express ways that they are going to adjust their behavior. And now let me say this. If at any point during this discussion, this sit down, you sense or discern that this person is becoming defensive, this person is becoming argumentative, this person is deflecting and not taking accountability, and just really blowing you off, and just like, yeah, I hear you, are not engaged in the conversation, end the conversation right then. End the conversation, because the purpose of this is not to cause an argument and for y'all to be bickering back and forth. This is a tool and an assignment for you to sit down and say, babe, let's have a discussion, because I see a few things that I wish we can improve upon in our relationship, because I really want us to work out, but I'm having some difficulties, and I'm having some emotions that I'm not pleased with, and you mind if we have a discussion about it? And the first thing, people going to do one of two things. Either they're going to get defensive. Well, if I did anything, I'm sorry. That's to shut you down, and we ain't going to talk about this. Or when you're telling them this, well, I do everything. I pay the bills. I make sure there's food in the house. That's not what we're talking about, babe. Okay? So the minute you sense the conversation is turning left, end it. End the conversation, because you want to come to a loving solution, and reach a peaceful agreement and understanding where both of you compromise. It should not be you doing all of the compromising. So if that person is not ready to hear you and not ready to brainstorm ways to we can make things better, then you need to just pray about it and seek God's guidance and take it from there, because that person is really in denial and they're not really trying to work on the relationship. But I want to say this, sometimes, y'all, you have to accept the things you can't control. There are just going to be some things you got no control over. And one of those things is you cannot control how a person is going to respond or behave. That ain't you, and stop trying to worry about that. You are not fixers, ladies. Stop picking up these guys that you got to do whole makeovers on and you got to fix them. Don't go into relationships with that. You're going to be miserable. Do not go into relationships when you know, if you're in a long-term relationship or long-distance relationship, and you know you're not you like the hands-on presence of your partner, you like to cuddle at night, you like to do things together, you like to bounce things off your partner, you like having family night, family time. If you are in a relationship with somebody like that who is totally opposite of you in that aspect, that person not for you. And sitting there trying to make it and force that on them, it's just going to make you frustrated. I want to say this to you, and please hear me today. You are worth respect. See, some people don't respect you. If you are involved with somebody and they don't respect you, well, Pastor Casey, what do you mean? They don't really talk bad to me or curse at me or call me respect goes beyond name calling. A person got to respect your boundaries. They got to respect your beliefs. If they don't respect you as a person, see, some people get lost in respect. And when you expressing something to a person and they don't even respect you enough to hear you out. You ever been in a conversation with somebody and they constantly cutting you off in the middle, jumping in and got to say something, and you can say, well, babe, I feel like this. Well, no, I don't know why you should feel that way. They don't even respect you to express and voice how you feel. You are worth respect. You deserve to share your life with a partner who prioritizes you. Yeah. Some people, I was just so busy and I didn't have time. You don't have 2 minutes out your day. We know every human being on earth got at least 2 to 5 minutes of their day. Because you know why? Those 2 to 5 minutes, they checking their emails. They're reading their texts. They're playing a game on their phone. So that's time that they're putting energy towards something else when they can be picking up the phone call and you checking on you. And I'm sorry, ladies, I'm going to just put it out there. When you got a man who only sends you a text that says GM, good morning, or HWD, he's not trying to have no conversation with you. I mean, he's just using letters and you think, oh, he texts me. Girl, bye. You deserve better than that. You do not have to live your life as a married person, but you do everything like you're a single person. Your partner must be present emotionally, physically, spiritually, and socially. A relationship without two people giving 100% will have problems. Y'all think about it. What you think? Thanks for watching today. Regrets. Get focused, find balance, get peace of mind, because you need to walk in the joy of the Lord, because that is your strength. Always walk in favor. I'll see you back tomorrow.